Hi, I'm Matt Richards, Chief Product Officer at Venvi. We digitize physical spaces and measure activity through those spaces. Great question. Steroids for your ops organization. I think when you've got an organization that's growing rapidly, you're forced to wear a lot of hats and they're spread really, really thin. And the easiest ball to drop is the ops ball, whether that's with compliance, whether that's with HR related stuff. We've got a lot of balls in the air and it's hard to justify the time spent sometimes. And so having Chore handle that for us and augment our team in that way has just been it's a massive unlock. It feels like a cheat code. I think that's a good point, right? There's the hours that get put in, but then there's the time that you lose surrounding those hours. And so where we might have someone with Chore doing X number of hours for us, I would say that we easily save twice that. Just having the wherewithal to get the work done is half the battle, right? And then it's getting the work done itself. And so it's been great for us to have a kind of random brain activity about something ops required, and then being able to delegate that to our Chore rep and see that it's done it's fantastic. Yeah, so speaking for myself in a product role, it means I'm spending more time with customers and learning more about the way that our product works in the world, and that's a feedback loop that makes us better. I've spent more time with our engineering team, boots on the ground, building things. And I know that, the rest of our leadership has been able to reinvest in their core functions. And that's what we're here for, right? I mean, not to downplay the ops role in any way, but it's a supporting function. And so if we can minimize our time investment there, we can redistribute that time towards, value generating activities. And I think we're seeing that across the board. Yeah, I mean, the ROI calculation is something that sounds like I could give to our Chore rep. I'm an addict at this point, but I think if I could go back in time to any of the companies that I had as a founder, this is like a missing piece. Like how did I not have this before? Because I did sink so much time into this operational work, and I'm sure that to some extent it limited our output, and that's a concern. And so, to any founder that's thinking about this, the last thing that you should be thinking about is your state registration as an employer to make sure that you're paying a disability charge, right? I mean, that you can't have that in front of mind. You're missing something critical if you do. And that's the opportunity cost, right? Is what are you missing if you're looking at all that other stuff? I think we've approached this in three ways before Chore. There was a period of time where we had someone on staff who was kind of like a Swiss Army knife for the business and did a lot of different things. And this was a relatively junior person, and they did a fantastic job, as far as we knew at the time. Turns out there were a lot of balls dropped, and a lot of T's did not get crossed and I's did not get dotted. And Chore is now helping us reconcile all that, which is great. We lost that person after a year or two. And I think maybe, as you do inevitably when that's their core function, and the work got spread across the leadership team, and inevitably we started dropping those balls as well, because there's just not enough hours in the day. And so I think, frankly, you can find someone to do the work for you. You can spread it across the leadership team, or you can not do it at all. They're all problematic. And so, from that perspective, if you're under-resourced in the way that a lot of young companies are, you can't go build a 2 or 3 person ops team in the way that you probably need to. And that's what it's, that I think is where Chore has plugged in is we've got this big team now on the other side of these needs. And so, for the first time in a long time, the work's actually getting done. Nervous, maybe panicked. We're kind of up and to the right now, which is great. And then there's a lot of exciting stuff coming for Venvi, even in these next couple of weeks. And we're going to be all consumed by this. And it would feel like the floor was falling out from underneath us, I think. And that would be a big concern. that's kind of our story in a way. Is we brought someone on who again was wonderful and did their absolute best, was very young and didn't have the experience to do everything right, and now we're paying the price, and quite literally that looks like fees from state organizations. It's a losing game. So if I sometimes think about the tool set that I would deploy today were I to start a new project, and like Chore would be in that initial tool set, so that we got off on the right foot, and for sure Chore fees included, you would come out ahead. If that's the case, the business is stalled, right? I mean, that's at the end of the day, that may feel like a harsh reality, but with success is going to come increased complexity on the operations side of the business as you grow, especially if you're growing rapidly. Those needs are only going to grow alongside the business, so it's not going anywhere. Go from day one. It'll be easier. Really excited about the recent announcements from Chore. It's, the future is uncertain, but I think if there's one thing we know, this hybrid style of work where we are going to have machine learning augmenting our staff capabilities is the way of the future. And there are a lot of companies in this space and in others that haven't embraced that yet. And I think it sounds like Chore has. And I'm excited to see how the way that we work with Chore is moves into the future in that way. I think that's a really exciting piece.